Why is there so much conflict in the world? Well, I have an idea. Hey, I'm Dave Swartz, and welcome to another Dose of Dave. Been a while since I've done an episode of Dose of Dave. I have taken a bit of a break since the beginning of 2021, but I've been very busy. I have been spending a lot of my time putting together a new crowdfunding campaign for a brand new comic book of mine called Confederate Monster. I've talked about it a couple times in some of these episodes. But it's finally on IndieGoGo, so you can now go down into the description, click the link, and check out the campaign. It's a really cool 3 issues of the story. It's just the first half of the story, as well as all kinds of other perks and fun things that you can get as well. So enough about the campaign. I want to talk about something else today. I wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Something that I think from time to time we all kind of deal with, and that's conflict. Conflict is pervasive in our lives, in the world. It's something that I think adds a certain level of stress and anxiety to our lives as well. And I think for a lot of people, it is sort of the way in which, or the lens in which they see the world through. They have had so much conflict in their lives that it's almost become an identity for them, where if they don't have conflict, they're not really sure how to function. It happens. It's the part of the nuance of life, how we have a vast sort of tapestry of experiences and things that create the people that we are. So the thing about conflict, though, is this world is kind of driven by it. If you look at primarily our forms of escapism and entertainment, conflict is at the heart of every story. Think about every single movie, every single television show, every book you've ever read, any story that you've lost yourself in for a moment. It has a root of conflict within it. Because there needs to be something to test the character, to make the character go through a period of growth, self-reflection and growth. And to me, that's a reflection of life. It's a reflection of why we're here. And I think we aren't really ever going to be rid of it. I think it's actually more of a tool. It's not really seen as a tool. It's more or less seen as an obstacle. But it can be used as a tool so that we can learn more about ourselves and learn more about our relationship in the world and to the people around us. So when it comes to conflict, the way that I look at it, it might be a little bit different than some. I think a lot of people may just see it as, the inevitable chaos of a chaotic world. But for me, I look at it as anything else, as energy. So for me, conflict is a reflection of the purpose, or the sort of reason why we have chosen to incarnate in the physical bodies in this 3-dimensional place that we call Earth. To me, when I look at the totality of existence in the cosmos, I see realms of physicality, like where we find ourselves in, and then I find realms of non-physical. The best way I could describe it is realms of potential infinite thought. So think about a dream. When you're in a dream, it's very real. It feels physical. It looks physical. It almost has a recollection of a memory that is physical. However, it is so chaotic and ever-changing, almost like fluid, like water, that it's a realm of infinite thought, a realm of infinite existence. And I think that actually, the dream realm, or something akin to it, is more pervasive in the universe. I think that there's more of that in existence out there than actual physical worlds like where we find ourselves here on Earth. Trust me, I believe that there are many other worlds out there like ours, physical worlds, where physical beings exist, other aliens out there, and they're numerous out in the cosmos. However, I think that pales in comparison, or it does pale in comparison to the vast number of other dimensions with beings that live non-physical realities. So when you're in a physical reality, though, I think the purpose, one of the major purposes of being in a physical body, is to be disconnected from the all, to be disconnected from the understanding that you are part of an infinite being of existence, to feel as though you are detached, to feel like you're alone, to feel as though, possibly the world is against you. Right there is conflict. And this existence that we find ourselves in, that is the purpose in my mind, is to experience what it's like to be detached from self, what it's like to not only be detached from self, but to disagree with yourself. Because again, everybody is just a reflection of you. So that person that you're having a fight with, that you're having a conflict with, that other person is just another aspect of you manifesting itself in a different, in that way that's conflicting with your own beliefs. So from my mind and my experience, when you look at this physical world and the conflicts that we find ourselves having, it's inevitable. It is almost, in a way, the purpose of being here. Because in my thought, other realms of existence, higher realms of existence, I don't think they have as much conflict per se. I would want to believe, I suppose, based off of what I understand, that when you attain that level of connection to the all, to the I am, to who you really are, a lot of that stuff just sort of falls away. I once heard a quote from Ron Doss that said, death is like taking off an uncomfortable shoe. So when you transcend the physical reality back into more of a non-physical, non-local, separate from time and space, not confined by it any longer, I think that in a way is very appropriate. I feel it may just feel like that. It may feel as though being in a physical body is like wearing a very tight shoe, a very uncomfortable shoe. And then you take it off finally at the moment of death, and suddenly you find yourself able to actually stretch out and breathe again. And I can attest to some experiences that I have had in other realms where it does quite much feel like that. I know it kind of just makes my words up like Yoda, but that's what happens sometimes when you're allowing spirit to sort of speak through you. So that's all I have today for conflict. But again, I wanted to express my perspective on it. I think that it's not as heavy as it needs to be. I think that you can actually look at conflict as a tool to understand the experience more, to understand your relationship to other people and that experience, and to your own understanding of self. So, okay. All right. So again, I have a IndieGoGo going on right now for my comic book Confederate Monster. It's basically Frankenstein meets the Civil War. You get to see Frankenstein as a cowboy Frankenstein. I actually have an art contest going on right now. So you can enter to win a really cool piece that I just finished last week. The deadline to enter is this Friday, February 26th. So you have until Friday to follow the rules and post your artwork. You gotta put a specific hashtag Cowboy Frank, and then there's a link to the campaign you have to include too. So all that information is in the updates for the campaign. So if you're interested in entering, check that out. Okay. As always, I'm gonna do a little dance to kind of shake off the energy. It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these dose of days, and I desperately want to get back to doing it more regularly. So I want to kind of shake some off of that energy that I've been kind of holding on to for the last couple weeks. So, all right, take care, guys. I'll see you later.